everybody, this is Alyssa from Make Arts and Crafts, and today we are going to do a post review. So our post review for today, we are going to do a post review of an adorable canvas. This is going to be Kitschy Deer right here, or Kitchmas, however you want to. I think I've seen it written both ways, but this is Kitschy Deer, and this is from Enabler's Outpost. The artist for this is going to be Irma van Heumen, and it is such an adorable kit. I'm going to give you the stats, we're going to talk about the drills, and then we're going to take a look at the actual kit. So this was a 30 by 40 poured glue round drill canvas, and it had 30 colors with 5 ABs charted. I only had to sub in 2 specials that I wanted to add to this because it had so many, and you can see I kind of had them like tossed, scattered over here. I ended up adding a Pixie Dust 3371 and then a Crystal AB 995. Those were the 2 specials that I added in to this in addition to what they were. And you can see I just subbed in the Pixie Dust 3371 for this 3371, and then the Crystal AB 995 for this 3765, this dark color right here. You can see they were not a 1-for-1 match, but a close enough color. And you'll see where I put it when we actually look at the canvas. I started this kit on the 2nd of December, and I finished it on the 6th of December, and it took me 10 hours and 34 minutes. So it didn't take super long. I really didn't have a lot of complaints on this one. I'll go into the details. You can see here, this was a set I already did. This was the one from my previous week's post review. Now that I've post reviewed this one, I will be able to like kit down both kits with all of these drills and take care of them all. But you can see here, these are our drills. And now as I come up, we'll be able to take a look. You can see I did not run out of anything, and I was nowhere near to running out of anything either. And we have plenty of leftovers drills, plenty of colors. I did love how this was lined up as far as kitting up. One thing did go from 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, but I did like that the numbers were in order. So it did go straight through. You can see how it skipped 2, but then it also skipped 5 and 7 and just kind of went straight up. So I liked that. And then from there, it went straight into the alphabet. So it went from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, and so on and so forth. As I put these off order. So it kind of like added all the way up, worked its way up through Z. And it did have 5 ABs. I was getting warm, so I had to take off the Udi and give it to Mochi. Mochi wanted my Udi, and she was very happy to have it. So now she's curled up inside my Udi on her perch. All right, so I did not run out of any drills. There was plenty of color left over. I think this is like one of the lowest colors that I ended up with, which as you can see is like still so many drills left over. So I loved that. I loved the color palette. As you can see, I was definitely feeling a vibe with my colors so far in December. And that's definitely been a theme for the entire month. I've been really feeling all of the colors. This right here is the kit. And this comes to us from their Enabler's Outpost, Elizabeth and Edward. Absolutely love them, and I love everything that they do. This is the first kit. I've got a couple different kits from them in my stash, but this was the first one that I've actually finished from them. And they actually have 2 different manufacturers that they work with. So the first manufacturer is for their larger canvases, and that's their primary manufacturer. Whereas this manufacturer here is what Elizabeth calls their snack shop. And this is where they get their the smaller kits that they're just rolling out with. And so this is one of their first 2 canvases that they've rolled out from their snack shop, that like Elizabeth calls it. So there are some things that she has said that she will be working on and changing because, again, this is like a first run of canvases from it. So it does have the creepy soft backing. It is a little bit of a thinner canvas, but it has the creepy soft backing. I like the texture of the front. It's kind of like got like a silky soft front. Creepy soft backing, like you guys love. I don't like the creepy soft backings, but that's just a me thing. It's kind of like Laura with the thin plastic. The adhesive was fine. I didn't have any issues with it. I felt like the printing went well. I do have some areas where I feel like one of the things that I have noticed, you can see I'm not a very perfect placer. That's one of, like, we're going to talk about the good things and everything I loved, and then I'll mention a couple things that I've noticed for it in here. One of these things, I am absolutely 100% in love with this image. Look at this, and look at the shimmer and sparkle on these drills. That looks amazing. I am totally in love with how this turned out. So this has 5 ABs, and the AB placement for this was just like on point, totally 100% on point. So we, like I said, we have our 5 ABs, and I did not do a unboxing on this because I was just so excited to work on it, and I just kitted up and started working on it immediately. So we've got this purple AB. This is 208. In the purple AB, you have a little bit of it kind of over in here. But for the most part, this purple AB is going to be up around this purple flower that you see right over there. And there will be some of these ABs kind of interspersed in some of the other areas, but primarily it's right over here in the flower. And then from there, you have this 602 AB, this pretty pink. In the pink ABs, you have some of the pink ABs in this flower, and then you have some of the pinks over a little bit in there, but I think this pink AB is in the flower, and then you have some of it for this particular shade of pink. It's been like, I feel like it's been half a month since I've worked on this because I finished it so early in the month. But you have this up in here. You have some of it kind of coming down around the ear of the deer and then coming down into the neck of the deer. A lot of it down into the body. This neck part of the deer has a lot of ABs. That shimmer you're seeing right there is the reflection of the ABs because there's so many ABs down here. And then we come down and we have this creamy 712 AB. This creamy AB is the antlers of the deer. That's what we're seeing here, 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 here. That's the 712 AB. Very good placement on that. And then we come into this 762 AB, which is a really pale, pale gray AB, actually. That gray AB, you have a little bit of it here, also a little bit in the antlers, and then right here in the center of this ornament. A little bit in the eyes, accenting around there, and then in the nose. And then our last AB that it was charted with is this pale pink right here, this 963. This pale pink AB was also in this ornament here, and then in the nose of the deer right there. And then there's some splashed in some of the other areas, a little bit up in here, but the bulk of it was right here and then right in this area. That's where the ABs were charted, and I think it was beautiful charting for those charted ABs. I love that glisten that you can see. I think it turned out gorgeous. I mean, look at that AB placement. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What I added a Pixie Dust 3371 just to add a little extra interest. And this is for anywhere that has the browns. So I put this right here for the nose, because there's no, I don't believe there's a 310 in this kit. No, there's no 310 in this. It basically, the darkest color is your 3371, this brown. And that's what I added right in here in the nose. That's pixie dust. The eye is pixie dust. And then also around this edge of the bell, I thought about making the gold like a bronzy gold, but then the colors of the bell didn't call for really a gold, but I did add this. I'll bring it up so you can see a little splash of the pixie dust right there. And then on the edge of this plant down here is also that 3371 with a little bit of it there. So I'm going to bring it up so you can see a little bit better. So you can see there's the browns with a little bit of that pixie dust. And then as we come around, there is our nose and there's the nose with the pixie dust there. And then there is the eye with the pixie dust there. And you can see as we come around this area here, you have a little of that pixie dust accenting the dark colors of our plant. Just a little splash to kind of like anchor it in and give it a little interest right there. And then the last thing the only other thing that I really added was this Crystal AB995. And I added this on right here primarily. But you can see that's what I added for this blue right here. You can see the crystal in this flower, the Crystal AB there, and then a little bit around this. So originally I was just doing it there, but I'm like, meh, might as well. So there's a couple spots over here around this ornament that have that Crystal AB. But that's where I did those specials. So that's our AB placement. That's our drill placement. I love how this was rendered and charted. I think it was done perfectly. There was actually a surprising amount of confetti on this kit, but it really worked to bring it together. Like the entire background was confetti, but that's what gives it this beautiful watercolor effect. And when you look at the original artwork, it's a very much a confetti image. And that's what you see there. It's that watercolor image is what gives it that confetti look. And I believe like that's the only way to give it this look here is to by doing all of the confetti. And they did an amazing job to make it really true to the original artwork. And that's what we get for making it this kitschy deer that you see and kind of like give it that look. One of the things that I noticed, there were a couple of the symbols. I don't remember exactly which symbol. I forgot to write it down as I was working, and I need to start making my notes while I'm working, because if I try to remember at the end when I'm done with the canvas and ready to do a post review, unless I film the post review immediately, which I don't typically do that because I'm like, okay, I'm done, let me go to my next kit, I'll forget by the time I film this post review. So I completely forgot to record which symbols, and I don't feel like peeling up the drills to look, but there's some of the symbols that like you can kind of see where if you look closely, the symbols are large compared to the space of the drill. So you can look closely and you can see there's a lot of the black. Granted, I'm not a perfect placer, but you can see the symbol underneath. And that was a common theme. So I had to focus a little bit more on this canvas to try to place perfectly. There was also no grid on this canvas, which I don't mind. I don't like having those little round grids that I have to try to perfectly place in. So there was no grid. It was just, here's the symbol, place it down. But that required me to focus a little bit more to try to keep my lines up, which I loved. I did notice that you have to keep, like, your placement has to be good on this, because as far as a round is concerned, this has a very snug fitting grid, not like so tight that the drills are going to pop, but if you don't place well and you get really sloppy with your placement, basically you'll find that it will force you to, it forces you to place well, because if you don't place well, then your drills won't line up well, and there will be some potential popping, if that makes sense. So the drills sit down snugly if you place well. But if you get really sloppy with your placement, which sometimes I am really sloppy with my placement, and then I'd be like, okay, the drills aren't sitting well, I need to go back through and like force them down like I would with a square, which you don't normally have to do with rounds. Normally I can place and go and I can be sloppy and blah with my placement. But if you look at this, for me, this is like some really doggone, like really good placement for me. I don't normally place this well. And that's because I had to do really good lines, because this is a snugger fitting canvas, which is great and fantastic because it looks good, because you don't have all of this crazy gapping for a round. And I know that's something that a lot of people don't like in rounds, is there's so much gapping around them that they don't like that they have all this gapping. This is a much snugger fitting canvas, which is a good thing when you want them to have that. But also, as far as a round canvas is concerned, it forced me to actually pay attention to what I was doing and place a little bit better and not be so careless and la-di-da with my placement. But it worked and it turned out and looked great. I love how it looks. I love how it turned out, and I thought it was beautiful. So that's kind of like my thoughts on this. I don't know that there were any symbols. I'm looking back through to try to see if there were any symbols that I found to be confusing, hard to see, anything like that. There were, I think the only thing that I found, and they were kind of different colors in different areas of the painting, because as you can see, these colors are totally different. So they were in completely different areas of the painting, but there was both a B and an 8. They were different enough colors that they weren't in the same sections of the canvas. So that wasn't something that I ever felt like they were going to overlap and it was going to be hard to tell them apart. But that was something that I was like, okay, if they are going to be close together, that can be an issue. I didn't run into any of those issues, but it could have been. And then I did find that the M's and the W's were basically these two colors. You can see they're very similar color. They were basically always right next to each other. And this did get confusing because your M's and your W's were right next to each other. And when you have a big symbol like an M and a big symbol like a W in the same area, then, yeah, you like my big paper cut that I gave myself today at work? Ooh, sliced right down through there. The M's and the W's were placed very, very closely. It would be like an M, 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 W, M, 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 W, 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 M, W, right? And you had to really pay attention to what you're doing as you're placing these all throughout here, 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 all of this right here. So I just had to be like on my toes when I was placing those. That was the biggest thing on there as far as symbols. And then they would have like an N interspersed kind of on like the perimeters of those. But other than that, those were the only symbols that I found to be kind of confusing with that. Next time I'll try to pay closer attention and make my notes as I'm working on it rather than waiting until the end. But I definitely highly recommend this kit. I love the color palette for it. I think this is beautiful. I love how it turned out. I would definitely, I would actually, this would be one of those that I enjoyed it so much. I would actually work on this kit again. I would do it and I would work on it again. Add some additional bling, more crystals, more fun stuff to it. I would really make the ornaments. If I were to do it again, I would totally do the ornaments and bling them up even more and make them stand out even more, especially like this blue ornament here. It totally stands out, but I would do it and just add totally more bling to them there. But anyways, there you have it. Those were my thoughts on Kitschy Deer by Irma van Heumen from Enabler's Outpost, which is a incredible, adorable image, and I'm totally feeling these pastel Christmassy vibes. It's not your typical red and green, and I just love the sentiment of just like, yeah, you can do Christmas but not be a stereotypical Christmas with like Santa and elves and snowmen and all of the other stereotypical Christmassy things that you see, which I'm like, meh, I'm not, yeah, but loved it. Strongly recommend. Go check them out and go from there. But I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.